write it. Joe will write it.
Welcome in to Cowboys Uncovered, Episode 3. We've got coverage of Cowboys versus Saints and looking forward to the Ravens game next week. I'm Big D, Alex, and Sports Guy Joe, the three bro amigos, the three best friends that anyone could have. Gentlemen,
Yes,
sorry for your loss.
What's up, guys?
Condolences.
How we feeling
Brutal.
today, Cowboys Nation?
Oof.
Yeah, even though it's an early window game, I'm still feeling hungover, man. Brutal game.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. How far would an Eagles L tonight go for mental health for Cowboys fans out there? I think
I'll take a pat on the back for that. You can pat me on the back for that loss. I'll take it. Condolences.
All right. Well, Dave, take us right in here, man. Let's do it.
All right. So who do we fire tonight? All right.
Oh.
I wanna open it up and just go wild with it. Okay. That was a bad loss. We don't have to recover all the horrible scenarios that we found ourselves in. But I did want to talk about, is this coaches or players? I'm going to give my take off the bat. It's coaching. You can't go and give up 35 points in the first half to anybody at home, no matter who it is or how new a defensive coordinator is. Mike McCarthy's been in the building for too long. He's kind of rooted in mediocrity when it comes to big games. And this was a big one. We had to it was a noon game. But they had Tom Brady looking good out there covering. I think McCarthy's got to go. I want to see Al Harris by midseason.
I completely agree that it's all coaching, but it all also starts with Jerry. Jerry's the one that picked these coaches, decided not to get rid of anyone, brought in Zimmer. I think this jury's still out on him, to be fair, for now. But obviously there's a lot to fix there for him. And then I think, we spent all this time signing our best two skilled players in the offseason. We didn't really get a good run at any legit free agents. Our division rivals go out and get the best one available on the damn market in Saquon Barkley. Meanwhile, here we are.
Yeah, it's brutal. I mean, we had so many opportunities at those guys, but with Zimmer, I still feel like this isn't the Zimmer that we used to know. He had way more attitude as a head coach. Like, he's not getting in anyone's face and trying to demand excellence from anybody. And I don't know if that's him or it's just like Cowboys just, want to let McCarthy run it the way he needs to run it, or the front office wants us to operate a certain way. But I don't know. I just don't see that spark, especially when we're down. And, they just ran all over us, man. I mean, every drive.
They had the attitude of me and you out there after that first half. They go out there and just kind of, meander around to their death. It was a brutal second half to watch too. I think there was 3 scoring plays in the second half, 2 field goals, and a touchdown from the Saints. Man, couldn't put it together.
Yeah,
in the comments, they're saying what happened to Dak. Yeah.
There's also, I think, just a footnote that I think it was quarterbacks coach for the Saints. He worked very closely with Zimmer, obviously in Minnesota, and so they would go up against practice all the time. So he kind of knew what Zimmer's tendencies were and kind of what just the scheme in general, right, that he faced every single day. So I don't know how much that had to do with it. Just wanted to throw that in there. That doesn't mean that there's any excuse for Dak in the offense now. Saints defense did look pretty good, but boy, Cowboys offense played an okay first half, but we just were not able to keep up. Dak started forcing stuff because we were down by a lot. One of the picks wasn't his fault. The second one definitely was. This offense does not get a pass either. We got that $1 billion touchdown kind of early on between Dak and CD there, but not much else other than that. But, hey, this brings us to the one bright spot of the week, and our shot of the week goes to our very own Pro Bowl, all-pro kicker, Brandon Aubrey. Once again, perfect on
Keep
the
it
day.
Up, young man.
Cheers to Aubrey.
Hey, cheers, fellas. Let's go, Aubrey. Bring us home.
I do want to bring this back to coaching one more time for Mike McCarthy,
Yep.
because The Saints did exactly what the Cowboys wanted to do last week in the second half. They ran all over us, bled the clock out, made it so that we had to drive the entire length of the field, and we just couldn't get it done. And you could see on the field, the Saints knew they were going to make the first downs, and the Cowboys knew they were not going to stop them from making first downs. And that's a depressing state to be in. And I think a lot of that has to go on the head coach. Um, I don't. We haven't seen enough of the defense for me to say Zimmer's got to go yet, but I've seen this
Correct.
McCarthy stuff too much.
Yep.
And
Yep.
the you know demotivated players out there is the opposite of fun. So
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah.
they can get a spark next week.
I got a chance to catch some of Micah Parsons' podcast, The Edge, and
Okay.
just a couple of quotes from him. We're not as good as we thought we were. We need to get back and work on fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, everyone's feeling like that, and then he did go on to say that sometimes these early losses in the beginning of the season are good instead of like barely scraping by with wins and not really identifying those big gaps that you might have on defense throughout the season. Instead, you're kind of getting punched in the nose early. And you got to fix it, right? You got to fix it now. And hopefully, maybe that's a positive for the defense and Zimmer. That's kind of the way you got to look at it as a player as well. You can't just say game 2, we got blown out on defense. We're done. Like we have some good players on defense, but got to put together, man.
Yeah. You see
Yeah.
Kendricks here. I mean, he's our leading tackler and just the newest guy. So it's kind of an
Second
example
week in a
of
row, leading tackler.
Yeah. This is an example of bringing in players to help. Well, we might need to do more of that.
Yeah, who was our fun, flashy player to look at coming out of the Browns game on defense?
Overshown.
Well, the Saints made sure Overshown was not on the field for most of the game. They played a lot of base with 2 tight ends or 2 backs, not putting the third receiver out there, which kind of forced Zimmer's hand, or I guess in Zimmer's mind, his hand was forced. I think you can get more creative than he got, but he put out an extra linebacker out there every time, and it was Luafau, new guy, and he's expected
Dak
to.
Prescott's tackle.
Yeah, Dak, CD, and Zeke have tackles, so this is how you know it's a bad game.
Sorry, Dave. Continue.
Yeah. No, so I just we want to see more Overshown. We want to put on this guy, but because in my mind this isn't the skinny, small Dan Quinn defense anymore. It shouldn't be. We brought in a bunch of beefy linemen. We brought in 1,200 pounds of new linemen to the defensive line. Not that they're any good. That's why I measured them in poundage. But when you keep them on the field and they still can't stop the run, or now the linebacker's got to try to chip that speedy, or is it what was the guy's name? The second receiver for the Saints, the speedy guy.
Rashid Shaheed.
Rashid Shaheed.
That guy
The need for Shaheed.
Yeah,
so he's out there as their second receiver. Kamara's in the backfield. Taysom Hill's out there. So they don't know how to match up personnel wise. And then what you end up getting is Kalen Carson or Leofau trying to take that extra threat coming out downfield.
Yeah.
And Carson was not able to get it up on guys and put in a good aggressive press. They were blowing right by him, and then that's a disaster recipe for Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker on the back end to try to keep up with him at full speed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was actually a really good job scheming against this Cowboys defense, and that's unfortunate.
I do want to point out that number 7 got burned a few times. One of the longest touchdowns of the game, I believe, or at least put him up. It gave up one of the longest plays of the game. Diggs. I don't think he's quite 100% yet, man.
Yeah.
Sure, for sure. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. We don't have to keep rehashing these fresh wounds. We do have another game to look forward to, but I do want to hear from y'all. Who's got to go player-wise? Which player have we seen enough of that we're – I got my answer, but do y'all have one?
Alex, you go first.
Well, I'm going to let you go first, Joe.
All right. Well, I'm going to go Steele. Steele, he's the worst part of the offensive line. He was terrible last year. We try to hide him, I feel like, but we were exposed. We don't do a great job of that. So I'm going to go Steele.
That's actually a good answer. Alex, you got one?
Nah, I'm gonna let you get it, Dave.
All
I know who yours
All right,
is.
so I've been smoking this guy all since the show began. I don't like Deuce Vaughn. If you have
Ooh.
Turpin, which we do,
Yeah.
and Turpin is a much better player in space. He's not great out there running crossing routes. I don't think that's the best way to use him. Every touch you gave to Vaughn, give to Turpin in some form of a gadget play or even a jet sweep or a toss.
And did you guys
Because
notice that like tiny package they had out there with both of those guys out there?
yeah, no,
Not very
Yeah.
successful on
I'm ready
any
to
of those
see what
plays.
Dalvin Cook's got. I'm ready to trade for another running back. It's not working for me.
I want to
Yeah.
see Dalvin Cook get activated. At least see what we got in the room.
Yeah.
I think it shows the coaches don't have the confidence in him either. Deuce Vaughn has been given a very small morsel of the offense, like in very small increments, and it's like we don't have time to wait around for our third back to like get
Yeah,
better two plays at a time,
yeah,
three
we
plays at a
wanted him to
time.
be like a Darren Sproles. He's clearly not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
I hope he does get better and gets it going, but I'm
But
just not seeing it.
I exactly agree with you because if you think he's going to be Darren Sproles, you have to use him like Darren Sproles, and they are not doing that. They're using him literally as another all-around running back. Like he's running up the middle, he's running off the side, he's catching a few passes. That's what he's being asked to do, and I don't think the things he's being asked to do are very good. And I don't think he's good at the stuff that they're asking him to do
Yeah,
anyway.
'cause it would be nice.
I don't know what's the redeeming
It
quality.
sounds like it's coaching again, Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would
So-
be nice if we could use him in the special teams, but we got Turpin for that, and
He is on special teams. He just doesn't return. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we had was it Wanye Thomas had a return, a kick return. Like he was one of the
what's
two
going on?
guys back there.
Yeah.
Even more so, if Wanye's the other guy other than Turpin out there or whatever, like what is Deuce Vaughn doing on the roster over Royce Freeman or Dalvin Cook or bringing in another player? Because running backs can be had for relatively low draft picks. We kind of, got caught with our pants down with this running back situation. It's just like when we didn't have a receiver, when Cole Beasley was our number one receiver. We had to go out and get a Mark Cooper. And how long will it take?
Jerry again, man.
I do
This comes back
think
to Jerry.
they will do something about it. Now, unfortunately, they already have some of those moves pre-made. They have Dalvin Cook already, so they're going to see how that plays out. Oh, I sure hope we're not sitting here in 3 weeks saying Dalvin Cook is toast. Everybody sucks.
Well, I will say
get
that I
prepared
came
for somebody.
into the season with zero expectations for the Cowboys, and that remains the same today. That was still the case after the Browns win. I saw that there were a lot of holes there. The Browns were just not that great of a team, and I don't know. I think this team has a long way to go before they have my respect and emotional stock back in the Cowboys.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Emotional stock and respect. Yeah, I'm holding those close to the vest currently.
yeah, it's just tough because like mine would have been one of the extra tight ends, but I was actually happy with what I saw from Schoonmaker, and
He did
because of the
he did what he
injury,
could do, man. Made a one-handed catch. Looked okay.
yeah, it does look like Ferguson's coming back this week, so I'm wondering if we can get away with getting rid of a tight end and make room, but it's with the injury, we just kind of have to hold on. Because we're not really using Brevin Span for it, and Schoonmaker kind of showed like if he didn't do anything this week, I would have been out on Schoonmaker. So I was glad to see that, and maybe one of these backup wide receivers. We need to make room for an actual impact player, and it's hard to even get the words out of my mouth to say like a Ryan Flournoy, because like we can't get rid of a rookie. Obviously, we're not going to. But
guy has not
it's
played
like,
in 2 straight games.
It's like why is
Jalen
Jalen
got
Brooks
any playing
playing?
time? Did he?
Why is Jalen Brooks why is he playing over Ryan Flournoy? Like I heard good things out of camp, so I'm not going to go that far. We need to figure out wherever the extra is on a team, whether that's safety or whatever we have extra of. We need to make room for some kind of trade and get an impact player in here.
Trey Lance, anyone?
I was going to say it, but you can't get rid of the quarterback. He's literally the most non-impactful player on the roster. So
yeah,
that was actually mine, but I was like, we can't do it because if something happens, and if he's good on another team, we're gonna be salty.
Well, let's flip it and talk about some good stuff. There was not.
All right, let me go first then.
All right, go ahead.
Because Yeah, because I'm excited. We got a chance to see who's going to step up in the void of Jake Ferguson, which it sucks that that's the void. But it can't just be us relying on Brandon Cooks. And I really like the fact that Jalen Tolbert finally stepped up. He 9 targets,
My
6
targets
receptions. That's the target leader and reception leader on the team.
did have that
82,
fumble, but
82 yards. Yeah, yeah. So we got to
he
work.
looked good. He looked
Yeah,
good.
that one deep shot, like if he doesn't catch that, we're having a whole different conversation. But that was huge. Just as far as on an individual evaluation, we needed to get an answer on Tolbert, or this is his last season on the Cowboys, basically.
Yeah, I think you're
So,
right there.
so
Yeah,
I'll
he's headed up.
yeah, yeah. So I'm glad to see someone other than CeeDee Lamb as a wide receiver stepping up.
Do y'all think CeeDee Lamb is 100% right now?
I think he's 100%. I think
He
he's still
took a
knocking out
shot,
rust.
dude. He took a shot.
He
He did take a shot.
Man, came
I
up
think
slow.
he's
Speaking
I
of
think
shots,
he's
Jalen Hurts just took one right here.
Yeah.
So we're watching the Eagles game here, or
Yeah,
couple
was
of
it
30
like
birds.
39 and Hurts runs it and just gets blown up. A little double tackle
love
there.
to hear it. I'll have to put it on sometime.
Yeah, our only hope is that the Saints take care of the Eagles next week.
That would be nice.
wow.
How hilarious is that?
So how about y'all? Who do y'all have as a impact player for this week? Week 3 or this last game for the Saints.
I mean, mine was Aubrey.
Okay.
And then if I was going to go another one, then I would have said Tolbert too. So I think we're all saying the same things. Dave,
Can
you
I
got someone else in mind?
insert the Schoonmaker in your mind?
No, I don't. I don't have any buddy I thought was great or anything other than Aubrey and Tolbert.
Schoonmaker 6 of 6,
it'd be a
43 yards
stretch.
though.
Man, see, I like Spanford.
Yeah.
I think he got a target or two. How many targets did he get?
Stanford got 1 target. Did
one
not
target.
catch it. No stats.
He wasn't
after that.
expected to get any spotlight, but Ferguson had his injury. I actually think he is most physically, like, if we got Schoonmaker because of his size, then we got double Schoonmaker in Spanford. Like, he is a monster person.
Yeah,
And I think for a second,
Turpin got 4 targets. Sorry.
I like that.
targets.
Yeah, and we were asking for him to get more involved, but Dave, you
4
remember we were
yards.
watching the game at your place, and we're like, first of all, last episode, guys, we said don't throw the ball to Turpin across the middle,
Yeah.
and then what do they do in the game? They try to throw it to him across the middle, and he went up for it, but just couldn't come down with it. The defender they're just too strong. Those linebackers out there, and they're just knocking the ball right out
Every
of his hands.
time that he gets tackled, it looks like it really, really hurts. I will say that he's just so tiny.
Yeah, I think Dak just needs he needs to have someone else he can rely on down the field. And I mean, I feel like those guys are developing at the back end of our receiver room, but I don't know if it's going fast enough. If we could pull off some kind of, I mean, I'm ready to flirt with some trades. We can't fall behind. The Saints obviously look like they're going to be a problem. We haven't had a divisional game yet. Those will be problems. And like, if we wait till the bye week, which is week 7 or so, until we actually make a roster adjustment, we can't fall to 2-5 or something like that.
Again, 0 expectations. So
well, this team, I expected this team to make the playoffs, and all along I said they'll lose in the first round of the playoffs.
yeah,
But
I think that's not a
I feel
Super
pretty
Bowl
confident.
prediction, but yeah,
It's not, and I think it would have been bold to say they'll miss the playoffs because the team brought back some of the best players at the positions in the league.
Yep.
It just kind of, this might be a weird thought, but Micah Parsons being such a dominant player at pass rush, and us, because you look around the league and these guys are getting to rush the passer every single play.
right.
And I just feel like there's more of an impact on the game when he's doing that. And I know that if I was sitting next to Zimmer, he'd probably spit in my face if I said that to him. But I just don't have to be cute about it. Maybe it's because his frame is not conducive to hitting an offensive lineman
He
60
doesn't
times in a
look like
game.
Myles Garrett. Let's just say that. Like,
Yeah,
speed is this guy's best weapon, man. He's also very strong, but speed, like,
I know. And then
I agree. Is he built to do that for the remainder of his career, for the full season? I don't know.
yeah. So it was rough to see that they're not gelling at all, really, in that front seven.
Micah looks frustrated as hell. He's not really
Yeah.
making the impact that he should.
Tank. I
Granted,
also
the
saw
Saints,
Tank, dude.
like you
Tank
said,
got
the Saints
wiped out a
schemed
couple
for that.
times. Like I saw Tank get like almost upended by a
Pancaked.
block. Yeah, like and I was just. It looked like he was supposed to. That's kind of sometimes you get chopped like that, but like to see it happen to the guy who's supposed to be setting the edge, and then knowing there's nothing behind him that can stop the run. So
Yeah.
that's tough. And Zimmer's got to look in the mirror and make some adjustments because they did a classic, burned us deep, made us play back, and then crushed us up the middle and just kept toying with us. We were always a step behind on play calling, and damn, we have some talent out there. I really wish they could use it a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't remember a single play on defense where it was like, well, except for an interception, but I feel like that was somewhat lucky. But just like we were on our heels the entire game, every single play it seemed like we couldn't get a
Yeah.
third down stop to save our lives. If we were playing in the Super Bowl, like just imagine the hits that we would take just for defense being so crappy. Yeah, I mean Super Bowl, whatever. But this did feel like that playoff loss last year against the Saints at home. Just kind of getting blown out early and
Second play touchdown or something like that, or something like that.
Second drive, first play touchdown, I think, or second.
Yeah,
play.
they did it twice,
Yeah.
and then you knew every time those field goals went up that they were. Everyone could see it. You could see the Cowboys being broken as a scheme, and you have to look at McCarthy and be like, dude, you can't even go. You can't settle for these field goals. You have to be playing for 4 downs. I mean, that sounds crazy, but that's how bad the defense looked. It's historic first half. 35 points allowed at home. Only the second time the Cowboys have ever done that.
I want to say
in
we've
66 years
only
or whatever.
had 3 offensive touchdowns this season. Maybe 2 to CD. Zeke got in rushing last time. Am I missing something?
Cooks.
Okay, so 4, and then we had the Turpin return. That's not very good, guys.
You know what?
No.
I saw a quarterback get put into the game on Saturday in person and put up 5 tutties.
Oh yeah,
it was against UTSA.
What's his last name? Is he a
He's-
Manning?
Little young Manning.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, I'm going to
That
the game
was-
next. I'm going to the game next week. UT ranked number 1. Alex, shout out to your background there.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
That was-
Arch Manning is
Enjoy
supposed
that.
to start, so I'll get to see his first start. That should be cool.
Yeah, Dave
I
was
mean,
at the last one.
Yeah, we
Nice.
were at the game, and especially that 66-yard touchdown run or whatever that was, because I mean, we were all started cheering like crazy when he gets past the first line,
Yeah.
and then he juked out that safety, and everyone was like, "Oh,
He's got some guts. He's got some wheels.
that was pretty
Yeah,
sweet."
well, we're out of the Manning sweepstakes after signing Dak, and we signed CD, and we're gonna sign Parsons. So it's gonna be interesting to see what this roster looks like in 2025. But for Week 3, I think we should just dive in
Let's
to
do
these
it.
Baltimore Ravens.
It's time to tie a bow on this last week, Cowboys Nation, and move on. Try to be optimistic. The Ravens do have some holes. I don't know if you guys saw any of the game yesterday, but Lamar Jackson put up some stats, but he didn't look great.
Yeah, I mean, that's the toughest matchup.
And then the Ravens are 0-2 coming to try to get their first win of the season. I mean, they're going to be a hungry team, man.
Yeah, I did a pick'em show earlier today, and teams that are 0-3, they have historically they're kind of out of playoff contention, and Ravens coming off of a loss, they have a pretty good record against the spread. So Vegas is actually projecting them to win because they give the home team 3 points, right? So really, this should be -4 for the Ravens, or it feels neutral, I would say, but I'm concerned about this matchup. I actually ended up picking the Ravens because at some point we got to be a little bit realistic. We can't.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
If you watch Alex's content, this has all already been spoiled.
Yeah.
Why don't you do a little plug there, Alex?
It's all good, man. I'm just saying. It's a little sketchy matchup. Ravens, they are just completely desperate here, guys. They have to win this.
And they
This
got
is a
crazy
must-win.
speed. Now, I don't know. I mean,
Derrick
I sit here and
Henry
talk
looks.
myself in circles about this
Derrick
because, like,
Henry has played really well
oh
first two
man,
games of the season. I don't see why that's going to change against the Cowboys. So,
I don't either.
Yeah,
uh,
so guys, we have to stop Lamar Jackson,
yeah,
Derrick Henry,
like,
Zay Flowers,
Zay
Mark
Flowers.
Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Justin Tucker. Uh, it's gonna be tough, and we've got to, like we said, Schoonmaker's, Jake Ferguson's coming back. It sounds like reports from Stephen Jones earlier today. It looks like we're going to get Jake Ferguson back, and he was close to coming back in yesterday's game. So we'll have our normal cast of characters, which we don't think is enough, but maybe Tolbert is here, and we actually have a wide receiver 3 that we can rely on.
yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like if he really has taken that next step forward. And then can Micah Parsons get at Lamar Jackson? Because while we're getting ready for the show, we were looking at some tape of that Raiders game, and Max Crosby and those boys, they were actually getting to Lamar, getting through the line, putting a lot of pressure on him. So I think Parsons can absolutely do that. We need a statement Parsons game, and it looks like Lamar's taking a little bit too much time in the pocket to get the ball out. So that's all Parsons needs to be able to get in there, whether it's him or Lawrence. I think we can actually get to the quarterback and make a difference in the game, maybe with a turnover or two.
Yeah, we have the personnel to attempt to keep Lamar Jackson in front of us and not let him get out wide, where he's just going to absolutely tear us up. Between Parsons and Overshone, we've got some guys that can run sideline to sideline. Do we have a guy who can cover Zay Flowers right now? Trey's a little banged up still. I mean, it's going to depend on if we can get pressure on him, and if when we get pressure on him, he doesn't flush out and then double the damage on the outside. So
I will say that the Ravens' offense is way more different than the Saints' offense. Obviously
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson being that X factor, and then you got a bigger back in Henry. Obviously Kamara crushed it yesterday, but those are the guys I'm really worried about. Zay Flowers, like you mentioned, but just those. I think those three guys, Cowboys could have a shot. Um, you guys want to talk about predictions? Could do that.
Yeah. And
yeah,
I was just looking at the injury report really quick. I mean, I know Kyle Van Noy was doing some things in that last game,
Oh, he's
questionable with the eye
questionable.
injury. I don't know how serious that is. Maybe he's
Roquan Smith would be the one that I'd be worried about if I were the Baltimore Ravens, because he led the team in tackles again last week.
yeah. So they're gonna need him. Um, Yeah,
11,
not. I don't
11
think they had
total tackles.
Adisa Isaac. He was inactive yesterday with the hamstring. That's their linebacker, and I doubt he's in the next game. So that's about it as far as injuries for them. We're basically facing a full squad unless Roquan Smith or Kyle Van Noy miss. But
yeah.
yeah,
What team we're going to see? Are we going to see a team that's going to come out? One point that I heard that was interesting was the approach to kicking the ball and deferring to the second half. Going down a touchdown, getting. I mean, this team just seems to not have the maturity to deal with being down. Being down multiple scores. So I hope to see them take the ball first. And are we going to see the good Dak? Are we going to see the okay Dak? I think we're actually going to see a good performance from Dak bounce back here. It's the defense I'm worried about.
Yeah. What's your score prediction there, David?
I'm going to go 38-28 Ravens.
Okay. Hot
Yeah.
take?
Well, I'm going to have an optimistic hot take and say we're going to see a Parsons touchdown.
nice. Okay, then I want to
I
go.
love
Stack TD.
All right. You take it.
Yeah, so I've got Ravens winning it 28. What is this? 24, 28-24, and then I've got Stephon Diggs pick 6.
Trayvon
He's
Diggs.
back. My bad, Trayvon
Trayvon?
Diggs pick
Okay,
6.
because
just
I had
put
that one
Diggs.
last week. I think it's a good one every time. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're gonna go 3 for 3 with the Cowboys losing 27-21. It's gonna be a close game, I think. But I'm saying this. My hot take is that Jalen Tolbert gets a touchdown. First
Yeah.
of the year, but guys, these are the kind of games the Cowboys actually win when we're not expecting them to win. You know, so anything can happen.
So true.
It, yeah. Well, I hope we all have eggs on our faces next Monday when the Cowboys dominate the Ravens, but we'll see.
So did we sleep on that last game, or we it's just happened? Like the Saints are hot.
The Saints.
Let's also give the Saints credit, man. They put the whole league on notice.
They just became the 2024 Saints. Like they just became a totally different team.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure if I watched them a little closely last year, maybe you can see some of the stuff coming together. They have great guys, great personnel.
Yeah. The last time I saw Carr crush the Cowboys like that was against David Carr when the Texans played their first ever game.
I was trying to say, who did Carr look like out there? Maybe it was David Carr, but I mean, he was
just for that one game though.
Was he like Breeze out there? I mean, it's just
it's
ridiculous.
Not like he would look like that team out there, man. They're just airing it out for a little bit.
No, dude, it was just embarrassing.
Anyway, the Saints are a good football team. We can all.
I actually am happy for a lot of those guys. I kind of, as far as personal storylines go, I have no problem with anybody on the Saints and that organization. And
no, and I love the city of New Orleans in general.
Carr was 11 of 16. 11 completions, 16 pass attempts. So
that's a crazy.
He wasn't asked to do much. He did have 243 yards, but it was an Alvin Kamara game, so it is what it is.
243 yards on 16 attempts.
It's a 20-yard average or something.
He had a perfect QB rating at halftime.
So wild, dude.
It's brutal. So yeah, that's what we were dealing with last week or yesterday. So, but next week we got this. I'm not too concerned, and we haven't been looking ahead in these games, and we weren't looking ahead past the Saints last week. We were not talking about the Baltimore game last week.
The Cowboys were.
And yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping that they're focusing because around this time last year is when we lost to the Cardinals out of nowhere, right? So we were hoping to avoid that, but we'll give the Saints some credit here, but we do need a rebound.
I want to get back.
Cowboys are who we thought they were.
I want to get back to changes you guys think we should make here as we kind of round out the show. So, what do you think the Cowboys need to bring in if they could trade anything for a player?
Oh, thank you, Dave.
What do we need to bring them?
I can't believe we almost forgot this.
It's a Christmas time already. We're asking Santa for wish list here.
Yeah, and Dave and I already agreed on an answer, but let's see what you got.
Oh, you're gonna put me on the spot here?
No, let us go then.
All right, you gotta go.
We need defensive line help, man. Like, we need someone that can get not only to the quarterback, but also stop the run game. And we brought in Mizey Smith to do that. And we're just not getting that pressure that we need. And look, we're about to go up against Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. It's going to be on full display this weekend, our biggest weekness. We need to make a move there. And I know Dave's got another position because it's the opposite. Is what you said was your big get rid of. So lay it on us.
Let's bring in a running back, man. I want to go get a real running back. Doesn't have to be a top 5 talent in the league, but there's guys out there with high draft pedigree that are sitting on the bench on some teams.
Give me your top 3 guys.
I don't have guys.
No, guys. No, listen. Look, the Chiefs just brought in Kareem Hunt for a visit today after losing Isaiah Pacheco. We could have been brought in Kareem Hunt. Come on now.
We kicked the tires on.
Okay,
we kicked the tires on Kareem Hunt last year, if I remember right.
Yeah, and for the Browns, he produced.
He did.
Just finish that thought. Yeah. That did happen. So, I mean, that's one example. Look, we did bring in Dalvin Cook, so we need to at least put him on display, give him a chance now that he has a week of the playbook. It's not a lot, so you have to give him that benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But a running back, like you just watch a Texans team here in the same state bring in Joe Mixon and doing now he's injured,
another free agent running back we could have had that we decided not to even.
There was moves to be made, and we can pick up some
right now. Guys, we're leaving out that one. We didn't even reach out to him. Apparently,
we wouldn't have to face Henry if we went after me. And
we picked our all
in Dallas.
Who was that?
Zeke.
Yeah, we brought in Zeke, and I'm cool with Zeke,
and Dalvin Cook too.
I would like some explosion. Or
great
at least a dynamic duo.
2017. Like, come on.
But what do y'all think are any of these moves likely? Are we just
yes, because the running back isn't going to take a lot of capital. So if we get one injury at running back, doesn't have to be Zeke. It could be It could be the RB3. I bet you Cowboys are going to be likely to just backfill that position no matter what. But if it is our RB1, I could see like a trade for a Chuba Hubbard from the Panthers when the Panthers give up on their season, and then Jonathan Brooks is now starting when he comes back from IR. We can take
Great.
Chuba Hubbard off their hands, something
That's
like
a great
that.
call.
You know.
How about this? Let's go out and get Hassan Reddick. Make something happen.
Oh yes,
Let's
steal him
go.
from
This
the
guy doesn't
Eagles.
want to go out there and play for the Jets.
We
Suit up for the
that
boys.
great
Put
call.
the star on the helmet.
Hey,
Let's go.
Don't they have an extra back we can trade for too? Can we get 2 for 1? Do they have another running back? Maybe we'll just
Let's
give
trade
them.
him cook too, so they're cooking with multiple cooks in the kitchen.
I'd
right?
like to trade him our first round pick, and we can just get any two or three players. I don't know how likely that is, but
Okay,
yeah,
so
Reddick's a great
Jets,
call.
Jets, Son Reddick, that's that D line help we could use, man.
I'm
They're
saying
not
that's more
paying him.
likely in my head to do it, to sign a D lineman, whatever, more than adding another guy to the running back room that's already quite crowded.
Yeah, maybe
you're right.
that's where our extra cap money's going, because we have a
So
pretty fat cap.
in Dave's perfect scenario, we trade Deuce Vaughn in part of that package deal, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we can put him on the practice squad or something. No one's going to claim him.
Ooh, his dad still will.
Oh my god.
Hey, I mean, if the coaches don't believe in him enough to put him in like real situations, I just think we have too many guys like that on the team. Too many guys that don't. Because you know what, Fossil still looks good after last week. He looks like the best coordinator on the team at the moment. Give him an extra guy at least. Trade Vaughn for someone who can play on special teams.
Give Bones a guy. See what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah. I was trying to look through some of these depth charts and just like who's got an RB3 that we might like.
Everyone's talking about the Dolphins guy.
Jeff Wilson.
No, they're number 4.
I think
was
it's
it
Jeff Wilson.
Maybe it was Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, because they've got a Chan Monster, Jalen Wright, and then Jeff Wilson's their 4th.
No, it was Jalen Wright.
He's a rookie. They're not. You don't give up a rookie. It won't happen. There's no way.
Well,
Alex knows all about the rookies, man.
I'm just saying they're not going to give up a rookie.
That's the only.
We'd have to pay.
It was fan generated, but I saw people talking about that. Just go. I mean, what would they say? No to a third for him?
What about the Bears? Like Khalil Herbert, he's on the final year of his contract and used to be a starter. Could take some carries.
Yeah.
They've got Roshan Johnson and DeAndre Swift.
I don't know.
What's unfortunate is we do have to kind of see what Cook has. So we're going to have to kind of wait for them to make that move before they actually, break glass and trade something away for a guy. But we need to start that project this week, in my opinion.
Little score update. It's still just 0-0.
Nice.
Falcons trying to drive 3rd and 4, trying to get into some field position here.
How about one more for the road, boys?
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I'm looking at the back
that was
of
tough.
Defensive ends and defensive tackles. Teams are less likely to do that.
Yeah, but the Reddick situation is promising.
Oh gosh, Eagles pick? No, almost. Never mind.
Yeah, this shot's for the Falcons, I guess, right?
This
or just week 3.
This shot is to.
I hope the Eagles lose as well. Let's just hope the Eagles lose.
Eagles lost, and this one's like to forget or something.
No. This shot's for everybody watching Cowboys Uncovered. We appreciate you guys checking us out this season, and hey, we're gonna be here. We're
here, rain or shine.
Rain or shine, win or
we're not hard to find. All right, Cowboys fan David.
Let's go.
And we got a question. What about Zeke?
I think he's a good RB2 or 3. So I don't have a problem with Zeke being on the team. I don't have a problem with the approach to splitting between Zeke and Rico. But I just think that there's talent out there to be had that's better than what we have, even as a collective unit. They're Jags. They're just guys.
Yeah.
And then we saw Zeke take a step back and get the second RB position this last game. Dowdle started. I thought Dowdle actually looked okay to start the game before we started having to throw the ball all over the yard.
Yeah, Dowdle's only issue has been staying healthy.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question, E-Bigs.
Yeah, so we'll see. Okay. Well, we'll see what trade they make. Cowboys have shown they're willing to make a move. We'll probably see one in-season move. Multiple is getting a little too cocky.
Yeah, hopefully Jerry gets a little fire under his ass and actually does something with his life. No, I'm just kidding. We have the money. I think we have the pieces. I think we can make moves, and I say we're covering the Cowboys, but we all feel like we're family, right? Cowboys Nation. So
We're
we just want what's best for everyone involved.
Indeed. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. So you want to take us out here, Alex?
Yeah, hey, I appreciate everybody for checking this out. We got 95 watching right now, and guys, week 3 is coming up versus the Baltimore Ravens. I think we're gonna be in for an awesome game. I was at one of the last Dallas home games versus the Ravens, and we won that one. So
Yeah, that's
I
the
want
only
to,
one the Cowboys ever beat the Ravens in. So
yeah, we don't
I
get
know
this.
this is the last time we mentioned it. We only beat the Ravens one time in franchise history. Let's try to get number
Last
two,
time I
guys.
mentioned it.
Let's try to get number
kill
two.
kill that stat.
Yeah, let's kill that stat.
Yeah, but hey, I'm Dynasty F Key. You can find me on Twitter at Dynasty F Key. You can find Big D at Cowboys Fan David. You can find Joe at Joe Garcia 73. And guys, we got this. Don't panic. All right, we're gonna be here next week, breaking down this game and previewing week 4. And after 4 weeks, that's quarter of the season. That's when you get a really good sample size of what's real and what our team really is, right? So for me, I love getting that first month of data because a lot of stuff that we were coming into week 1 and 2 with was stuff based on last year. Well, now we're gonna know, where the conditioning's at, who's healthy at that point, and we're going to be ready to rock and roll. So stick with us here at the Undroppables and stick with your Dallas Cowboys Uncovered. Let's go.
Write it, Joel, write it.